on. So another little piece of movie news that we have this week is Capcom hosted the second Resident Evil showcase. So it's the second time Capcom has done a let me move this over here. The second time Capcom has done a Resident Evil showcase where they kind of talk about all the projects they have coming up. As Resident Evil is probably, if not Capcom's biggest, one of, if not the biggest franchise that Capcom owns, their biggest IP. And at this showcase, there was a producer. I'm gonna say his name wrong. I know it. Hiroyuki Kobayashi.
Okay.
I'm very sorry if I'm saying this wrong. They mainly talked about Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. He is an animation producer for Capcom and for the Resident Evil series. I think he worked on 4, 5, and 6. He's worked on all of the Resident Evil, the CGI films. And as we know, Resident Evil Infinite Darkness drops on Netflix this year. But he did have a little bit of an update on the status of the live action reboot of Resident Evil. And he had this today to say. He said, "I have one more announcement for you related to the live action reboot of Resident Evil. Filming in Toronto has wrapped up and we are in the middle of creating the creatures in CGI." Now, before I give you my thoughts on this, I want to know if you and I are on the same page, if we can read each other's minds. What is your initial reaction to that statement?
You don't like the idea of CGI monsters. You don't want to see CGI monsters.
This is why we do this show together, because you can read my mind. I am so cautiously optimistic for Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. I want this movie to blow my socks off. I really do. But when they said creating the creatures in CGI, I was like,
we differ because obviously I like those games and all those CGI monsters, but I get why you just want it to be zombies right now, because it's the initial Raccoon City. Like, you just want to see zombies. And
I want to see the monsters too. And I get it. There has to be a certain level of CGI. Like, there has to be, because you can't do a Licker, or you can't do Nemesis, or you can't do, the Hunters, or any of the other classic, look at Birkin when he turns into Tyrant. You can't do any of those characters without CGI. And I get that. But what I don't want to see is really crappy CGI on monsters that I love. Or I don't want to see CGI zombies. And again, the perfect example, I loved the storyline of World War Z, but the zombies were too damn CGI. There was something about it that looked fake. It looked like CGI. So I guess I shouldn't judge yet. I don't think it's a reason for alarm. Some bells and whistles went off in my head when I initially saw this, because I was like, oh, creating these creatures in CGI.
I don't think it's gonna be zombies. I don't think it's gonna be zombies.
You don't think it will?
I don't think it'll be zombies. It'll probably just be like, some freakish little, frog monsters. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and if they do the Lickers and the Hunters, like I said, and some of the other side monsters and creatures as CGI, and the CGI is done well, I have no problem with that at all.
Yeah.
But if I see a zombie moaning around and walking, and it is done on a computer, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be so heartbroken, because I am first of all, y'all know this, we've talked about this before, I'm a huge zombie fan. And I think zombies work best, and I think zombies are the scariest with practical effects. Look at The Walking Dead. You might have your opinion on your opinions. I don't mean you specifically, Miguel. I just mean like anybody might have their opinions on the storyline of The Walking Dead, but you got to admit the zombies look fire.
They do.
They really do.
And like that's the most recent zombie flick or series that actually took its time with it's zombies. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
these people had to go to fucking zombie school. That's yeah, that's a whole level of
Yep.
what's it called? Dedication
It
to
is. It
a
is
series.
for sure. So there's not really even anything else to say about that. And I know we have seen like some of the set pictures. I know
Mm-hmm.
there's the one set picture specifically. There's like 30 or so. You just see black figures, basically black silhouettes, standing underneath of the RPD, the Raccoon City Police Department sign, and it's foggy and there's fire and there's smoke, and I that gives me hope that the zombies will be practical
Mm-hmm.
and practically done because it's actual people playing them. My fear is that they're going to try to do, when you try to do, I know you haven't seen the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, but they did so for the remake of a Nightmare on Elm Street. Instead of doing actual makeup on Freddy, they did like half makeup, but some of his face is CGI'd to look burned. Miguel, he looks like a burnt squirrel. Like it looks terrible. So I hope that at least for the zombies they go practical. That's my hope.
Well, I mean, I doubt it. I'm not gonna lie because
You doubt that they'll go practical?
yeah, because it's technology and all that bullshit.
I know.
Unless
I hope
we
so.
would have to look at the history of the director. If you can look at the director and look at his cinematography and just see what projects he's done, you could tell what direction he's gonna go to.
I may have to do that this summer because I don't
Mhm.
believe Johannes Brahms has
Oh
or
wait,
no,
he
not
had
Johannes
is
Brahms,
is
Johannes
this the
Roberts.
director? Is this the director that literally has nothing under his belt?
He doesn't have, I mean, he has stuff. I mean, I don't say that derogatory or in a derogatory way. He just, there's not a ton there. So, and it's not fit, at least it's not films that I am familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We'll have to see.
We'll have to check it out.
We will. We'll have to check that one out and see what happens. But